Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the ESL ESEA Pro League. It is the beginning of a brand new league. I am Lee D-Man Smith, and I'm joined by Lauren Pansy Scott. And we're going to be kicking things off today. We have 3 matches for you. Starting things off will be Titan versus Dignitas. But that's just the start of a very long road. Lots and lots of matches to happen. This is a $500,000 season. It's a $1 million league. 2 seasons stuck in there. Of course, finals will be following it. You may have seen the ESEA Season 18 finals. Obviously, it happened in America. And, of course, the ESL Pro League finals that happened here. So they've come together, and they are as one now.
Yes, 12 of the best, pretty much. There's no two ways of putting it. These teams are phenomenal, and a really good, well-structured online league to finally see who maybe can find that consistency throughout this.
Yeah, so many big games coming up, and obviously so many more weeks of action to happen. It's going to be, if you've not seen the schedule, pretty hectic, it's safe to say. We're starting things off here on the Monday, the 4th of May, of all things. Nothing Star Wars related here, though. We are going to be having 4 days, going up to Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, so lots of action already. Check out the schedule. It is all going to be going on for the next, I think it's about 12 weeks that goes on for. So there's a hell of a lot of matches on there. Let's check out the league table starting things off, because we want to see exactly what teams are in here. Of course, you guys at home may have seen the news already out there. Starting things off at the top, alphabetical order, of course, is Flipside. Now, Flipside are the team, of course, that coming into this one, they simply can't use Simple. That's the big thing for them.
Yeah, it's a huge thing as well. Simple has had some brilliant impact plays for them leading up, in different tournaments. However, as we've noted, they cannot use him within this league, so it's time for them to search for another fifth to step in. Had a quick chat with Markov today. They're not even too sure who they're actually going to utilize just yet, but I'm sure they'll start turning their attention to it when it comes towards Matchday.
Yeah, they used Davkost at Katowice, so maybe we're going to see him come out once again. Next up, of course, well, it's Fnatic. Still arguably the top team in the world, but they're definitely being challenged a lot lately. Of course, they do still hold those 2 majors. They are the only team in the world that has that, so you can't discredit what they've done in the past.
Oh, exactly. They are a huge team, and the best thing that comes to mind with this team is what JW said super recently. Okay, we're done being nice, back to dominating. This guy wants to find form again. This is a very good reason as to why a lot of money on the line, and Fnatic always seem to be able to step up at these big moments and when it leads to the bigger events.
Yeah, and of course next up is Hellraisers. This is a team that's, well, had a little change, had a little misfortune, hasn't really quite pulled it together at the big events, but now that they're in this gaming house, what's he going to do? Is it really going to bring it to them?
We'll see. It works for some, it doesn't work for others.
Yeah.
So the French teams kind of fell apart because of that, and it overworked them almost, but they are a very hardy side, let's say. So maybe this will just give them that consistency they need to really kind of encourage the players that they have that are extraordinarily talented to find that form.
Yeah, and it's one of those awkward things with the gaming house. It's like you may get on perfectly online, but as soon as you pull these 5 guys together, you're literally living, breathing the same air. You sometimes don't always get on.
Yep.
Now, next up is a team that obviously we were broadcasting for the ESL Meisterschaft.
Yes.
And actually they went on to win, which is the German championships that happen here. And it is Mousesports. Now, this is a team that has had changes, it's safe to say.
Say the least.
A complete change, almost.
Yes.
A makeover.
3 players, I think, picked up from Penta in the end, so retaining Gob B and Chris J as the core, and then adding additionals of Nex, Dennis, and Spitty. Now, I'm kind of surprised to see Nico kind of being put to a secondary position. I think he's currently listed down as backup. Whether or not he's happy with that statement, I don't know. This is still something very new. I think this was only confirmed today.
Yes.
So this is still something to be seen. I don't know what they have in store, but it's the German scene down to a T.
Spitty was confirmed to us about an hour ago as well.
There you go.
These changes. But I know, like you say, Nico played absolutely fantastic stuff.
Got a feel for him.
This weekend, really played on top form. Next up is Na'Vi. Now, Na'Vi's a team, obviously, that's been around forever and a day. They did win ESL Pro League here in April, so just last month. Some great performances. But again, they're a team that are slowly getting there. I wonder whether this flamey change is really stepping in for them.
Well, I've got to say, I think Na'Vi came out of the CIS shuffle probably one of the better out of the lot. So they are building up. They seem to run into the French teams in the semi-finals who then go on to win every tournament in the end, during their decent run, which kind of stunted their performance, which is a shame. But as you said, picking up that victory not too long ago is certainly going to put them in the right space to maybe kind of convert that to more consistent wins.
Yeah, I mean, if I cast my mind back, obviously it's the Katowice. You think, we talk about the teams they come up against. They come up against the Fnatic. They come up against an Olafmeister running around getting 12 kills with the Tech 9 in the first 3 rounds. It's like one of those things you just sometimes you can't factor in there. Of course, next up, well, it's Ninjas in Pajamas. They are probably the most famous CSGO team. Even people that don't follow CSGO kind of know the name Ninjas in Pajamas from the CS scene. Now, this is a team that really, despite being amazingly popular, only won one thing in 2015 so far, which was the Azus Renner Gaming Assembly Winter. Way back at the very beginning.
True.
It was the first event of the year, in fact. And since then, well, I've had a lot of second places, but never quite been there.
Yeah, 3 second places in the space of 1 month. That's quite telling. But then again, Alu came into the lineup. A lot of people put a lot of pressure onto them saying, you've made some changes maybe we don't agree with as spectators, but he seems to be fitting in well to the team. It looks like they're happy to work with him going forward. And it's just a matter of time until maybe they find that form where they can challenge the likes of Fnatic on a toe-to-toe level. Because, Alu against JW right now, you probably wouldn't even put them as a head-to-head almost, because they're 2 very different styles and 2 very different AWPers. But Alu's finding his form, NIP are finding their form, and they do have a good new addition outside of Alu.
Yeah, with Natu coming in there as Big Daddy father role, as Get Right called it. Not so much the heavy coach, hands-on coach that you probably get with like a Devil Walk.
Yeah.
More of a father figure. He even mentioned the fact that he's got those 2 kids, and he's like, yeah, he can be a big dad to us all.
He's gained 5 more now, basically.
He's definitely 5 kids. If I know what coaches are like from previous games. But yeah, Ninjas in Pajamas. A lot of people have been saying, are they going through crisis? They're not going to be going through a crisis. They've reached that many finals. It's just not quite won. But it's always one of the things that a lot of people look at them. When a team's lost the final, that they're considered losers, despite the fact they've finished second in a tournament that's probably had like 16 teams.
True, but then again, when you're NIP and you come with this reputation, people expect that first place, and I can imagine they'll expect that first place. And I remember back even when the CS:GO tournaments first began here at ESL, I think it was like the raid call EMS God knows what stage. Even Get Right said, I hate the fact that people say, well, we tried, we did well.
Yeah.
Personally for him, he wants to win, and there's no second place in his mind. He wants that first. So hopefully they can start getting in that and getting that mindset and actually getting the wins alongside those second places.
Well, we're moving on to a team that's not seen a second place for some time, and with the recent changes, it's Penta Sports, and well, they've just been decimated by this change, and I got to wonder how it's worked. Now, the fact is, they have been pretty weak. They didn't even qualify for the ESL Meisterschaft, so that means they didn't even reach the top 4 German teams, which is in itself is a big problem for a German team.
It's huge, and now they've been pretty much ravaged by Mouse Sports going, well, we like these players. We're going to take these players away from you and leave you with whatever you can scramble together, basically. So it's a bit of an awkward predicament now. It's kind of them scrambling whatever they can together and trying to do the best they can bring to this. However, if we want to flip the coin and try and find some silver lining, there's always a danger to those honeymoon period teams where you can put together a mix. That mixed team threat comes into the theory, and maybe you can cause some surprises if teams aren't too prepared. But still, very, very bad place for them currently. Yeah,
I don't know who's the good and the bad guy between Mouse and Penta, and who stole whose players. I know, obviously, clearly we see 3 players from Penta going to Mouse Sports. They do play tonight, so that's going to be a little bit of a rivalry on that one. So that's going to be the second game of the day. Next up is Team Dignitas. Now, this is a team that posted some very good results recently. They did beat Navi in the ESL Pro League, which Navi went on to win, of course, beating them back there. But they gave TSM a very good run for the money as well. Of course, they're Danish rivals. They're definitely not going to be happy about seeing TSM suddenly winning tournaments.
Well, certainly not, but there's probably some country pride there that they're not too upset about. And they're one of these teams that I think it was either Anders or Semler actually kind of pegged to be one of the teams that needs a couple of months, needs a little bit more work, and then they'll push more. They've been getting a good couple of top 8 performance results, which isn't a bad thing at all. And they're starting to show that real potential that can threaten other big teams. So this is what it is, just seeing their progress through these weeks, seeing how far they can come as a team.
The next, of course, is Team Envious. Well, it's MBK and his crew, or Happy and his crew, as it's become recently, honestly. They did win Star Ladder. They won Gfinity as well, 3-0 and 3-1 over NIP. We talked about, of course, NIP come in second place. But since then, they've had a little bit of a slippery slope. I'd say slippery. They reached the semi-finals of the Pro League here. They're in the semi-finals in Katowice. But, you know, considering like the echelons that they reached, certainly they were starting to become one of those new dominant teams. When they went and dominated at Star Ladder, everyone was considering it's like, okay, they're back. These are the #1 again. But no.
Yes and no. The thing is that their play style is very, let's say, specific, I think is the best way to kind of put it. The same with Titan almost. The players have so much personality to the way they play, you can kind of pinpoint them. And a lot of teams look at how they play and looked at how they played. And then they kind of went, okay, well, we can counter this, we can work on this. And people worked around it. And now they're being threatened very, very close to home almost. So every time you see, you know, Dust 2 come up, you know, back maybe a couple of months ago, you've been like, well, that should be their map hands down. Their performance on CT&T has been brilliant. But now people have worked it out. People are starting to learn. And, you know, the question then comes, did they have enough time to learn anything new? They've been on the road quite some way as well, including some of the other teams. Yeah,
we're starting to see NIP picking it as their home map now, so which is an interesting one. Next up is their French brethren, Titan. And now, this is a team that struggled recently. They just about squeaked through to get to Katowice through the qualifying stage. Then they lost in it, I think 16-14 on Cobblestone to Envy of all things. And then they just bombed straight out the tournament. They just obliterated. Now, they came second here at the Pro League with Maniac really stepping up. And maybe, you know, we were talking about it at the time. The fact is he had to step up. The patch came in. Kenny S suddenly isn't the man he used to be.
Well, they just seem to be the team at Valve's will almost when Lord Gaben just kind of swats them aside. But it's generally, in my eyes, who can kind of find their form at the right time. For example, RPK and Apex were phenomenal when they found their form. I think back to Inferno, the way they played even just on B, on Banana with the CZs, and the way they switch up. It can be so powerful. However, whether or not they find that consistently is another big thing. It's all about how well they find that and who can step up at the same time.
A couple of tweets from the Penta guys saying, we're always the good guys, it's not our fault. Team Solo Mid, the next team, and well, what can we say about these guys? They have just won 2 lands back-to-back. If you didn't see it, they won Face It last night. Despite the troubles that happened, they did manage to take down NIP in clean style. I don't want to say that because they lost 16-1 on Inferno in the first map. But after that, they did well. But previous to that, they went to DreamHack as well. So they've been on the road for quite a lot and actually really started to post performances, and more importantly, they've broken the duck. They've broken that voodoo that they had over them where they were just falling at the last hurdle.
See, and that's the thing with these guys. I think then there was never a question of, you know, can they get there? There was always the point that they can do. They're a good team. They're extraordinarily talented. It was a matter of time and what needs to fall into place. And whatever happened, you know, whoever found their form, whatever the talks were internally, it started to click and it really began working for them. So I'm glad to see them finally able to really push past that kind of reputation they were starting to gather, because to be fair, they didn't deserve it. They are a phenomenal team, and it's good to see another team be able to reach those higher echelons in the CSGO scene currently.
And the final team, of course, is, I guess you could say, the old boys. I don't know if they're on there.
That's a little mean.
Hey, with Natu retiring, Taz is now the oldest man in CSGO, certainly in the pro scene at least. Sorry, Guy, as an old man to another old man. Virtus Pro, yeah, they are a team that has been on the road a lot, let's put it that way. They did record victories at ESEA and Copenhagen Games, actually taking down Fnatic at ESEA as well, so great result for them. But they've also bombed out of tournaments really early on. They've been, I think, since Katowice, they've been non-stop. They've been at every event.
And this is the point that I wanted to kind of highlight a little bit, is how much that sort of play style and the consistent practice and the constant playing on the road can affect a team, because there was some big updates. We saw other teams being very vocal about it in comparison, but these guys are playing all the time. How much time do they have to go home and review? How much time do they have to go back and try and adjust? Because if they're going event to event, online, you know, they're going to have to start treating almost online games as their practice. And that's not the perfect practice sometimes. Sometimes you're on that theoretical side of things. They do have a coach there to help them out, obviously, but still, sometimes you want to be able to sit back and kind of review what you've done, what's going wrong. And with this constant training practice they've been going at from every event, it might be a little struggle. And that might be why you see some of the inconsistent performances. However, I think it's a matter of time before they find their kind of potential again and start pushing those results even higher. Yeah,
it's definitely an interesting one. I remember when we went to Katowice for the qualifiers, actually, Anders arrived and there'd been a patch that night.
Exactly.
And it was with regards to the observing. So suddenly, like, Vendetta's like, I need a computer, I need to look at these things. And you can only imagine what the players go through, especially when the big AWP patch hit. I think we've probably had about 2-3 patches since Katowice, so Bearing in mind they've been on the road like 9 events running. It's been pretty crazy for these guys. And Dupree, mentioned it, talking about the Dust 2 box change on the A side, the box opening up. So suddenly he was like, well, we're probably not going to see anything new until we start approaching the next major. We'll see how it works out for them. So they are the teams, ladies and gentlemen. This is the ESL ESEA Pro League if you've just tuned in. But let's take a look at what exactly happened at the last ESL Pro League.
Hello and welcome to Cologne, Germany. This is the ESL Pro Series Counter-Strike Global Offensive Finals. Not just any finals, the winter finals.
The one thing, though, is that TSM, they still have one of the best riflers in the world, hands down. That's Dupree. In danger of getting overrun, but he gets 2 headshots, a third!
Now Taz peeking around the corner right now, but he's just delaying. This is all a delay tactic, but it doesn't matter when Dupree lands 2 headshots.
And RPK comes through, that's the bomb maniac as well with the kill, and RPK picking up the double now, stunned it. 12 to 10.
Up in a good position, goes up on high, tries to find him, he's right!
What is Natsu picking up for the upcoming round? In this one, if they could get a bomb pound or anything like that, that would be huge for them, but that's obviously not happening. Look at this ace coming out in the eco round, and that was very well controlled.
Seized has already stepped in, taken out Apex Guardian, found Kenny the Rotator. This is down to RPK and Existence, the last 2 alive. Existence steps in, takes out Guardian, but loses RPK, and it's down to half HP on Existence. This could be the World Championship, and look at the reaction already. It is possible.
And a victory for Navi, 16-13 on Cobblestone with the score, 16-12 on Mirage.
Ladies and gentlemen, your victors, Navi, ESL Pro League.
And that was, of course, winter, where Navi did record their first victory of 2015. Yes. And you could see what it actually meant to them. I remember Zeus getting up and doing that dance, that little jig afterwards. He was so happy about finally got in there. But so coming up next, obviously, let's talk about the matches we have today, because this is a giant league. There's going to be so many matches coming out throughout the season. But let's look at what is actually happening today. So first thing first is going to be Titan versus Dignitas. That is going to be the first match of the day. Following that, you can see it will be Mousesports up against Penta. And then you may notice there is a bit of a break. There was due to be 4 teams playing today. However, unfortunately, it seems one of them was with a conflict. So what we're going to do is reschedule that. We're not going to forfeit or anything nonsense like that. We're going to reschedule it. They're going to be playing in another day, which does mean we will have an hour break in there. And of course, then Hellraisers will be up against Envious later on today.
Exactly. Just enough time for a bit of matchmaking maybe, or get a cup of tea or have dinner.
That's it.
So we're being really kind more than anything. But no, looking at the first couple of games we've got coming up, brilliant start to it. I'm actually looking forward to seeing Dignitas up against Titan. I don't know what to expect from this. We're going to have cash. It's best of ones, bearing in mind. So it's predetermined. And I'm not sure who's got the upper hand here, because I personally really like Titan's T side over their CT. I just love the way they execute. I like the power they have of opening the bomb sites. I'm not sure how much Kenny S took almost a nerf in that ability, because if you looked statistically at how well he did opening up bomb sites, it was almost over any other entry fragger, including riflers. So he was extraordinarily powerful at that, especially on this map. So I'm not sure how much that's going to affect things, but I hope they're on the T side almost, so I get to see that.
It's interesting to see. Obviously, we talked about the patch a lot during the Pro League, and obviously how things have gone over the last month. We haven't really seen Titan since the Pro League. I don't think they've been at an event since then. I'm trying to think. They definitely weren't in Bucharest, and they weren't in London at the weekend. So it'll be interesting to see how Kenny has adapted since then. Obviously, we've had the AWP change and coming in. He's had time to sit home and practice now. Now, some AWPers actually seem to have really sat into this one. Like Guardian was talking about at the event. So yeah, I don't really like the change. And then he went on, did a magnificent with it. So, and it seems to be like that old 1.6 quick scoping more than the movement that they maybe got used to. Maybe it's just something in that. Maybe he just needs to relearn himself.
But to be fair, that was also probably a lot of mind games. I don't know
absolutely.
many of the
No doubt
Orpas who
about
are
it.
actually really happy about the changes, to be completely fair. I think everyone can be very honest that a lot of the Orpas felt that it was a little bit difficult to adjust to for a small time. But you don't want to come into a tournament going, yeah, I'm really not comfortable, I'm not confident.
Yeah, this is rubbish. I don't get on with
like, anyone will exploit that, and these teams, it does become a mental game at those offline events. So for him to say it, I'm kind of understanding of it, because Guardian is also a fantastic CT-sided AWPer. He's probably more, in my eyes, a CT-sided AWPer than a T-sided AWPer sometimes.
I do remember Cash was played in the semi-finals, actually. And I do remember a certain shot from Kenny S through that wall onto the forklift. So
I don't think the patch really changed much of that.
I don't think, well, the patch was there then. That was with the patch. So he seemed to certainly be very happy with that one. So moving on, looking at Cash. Okay, Dignitas also played Cash, I believe, against Na'Vi. I'm trying to think back without throwing myself under a bus there, but I know for a fact Titan did. How do you rate these two teams on Cash?
It's a big question, isn't it? How do you rate any team on certain maps?
I'll throw you under the bus.
Yeah,
yourself,
don't throw yourself under there. Just put me there instead. Thanks, Lee. You're so kind. I don't know is the simple question and the simple answer to it, because really, how much can we tell from the break? Has Titan been able to have time off now to almost adjust, to actually practice it, to actually work on whatever wasn't working? We don't know. You know, it's these questions that we'll find out during this league. This is what it's here for.
Yeah.
It's a consistent practice schedule almost. I hate to undermine sometimes how much this is worth, but with the schedules being as heavy as they were, they had to treat online games as practice almost.
Yeah.
There's no two ways about it, and I think the teams would be honest enough to say so. However, they always want to win. There's no disputing that. It's just the fact that this is where they can practice everything and hopefully fix any of those issues. Now, as we said, Titan maybe not as schedulally impacted as others, so they might have been able to work a little bit more on this. Their executes are fantastic, but they were also waiting for some players to maybe find their form. Bearing in mind, RPK, has been fairly missing from CSGO for some time. He came back in, and his performance has been getting better and better. There's absolutely no one who'll tell you otherwise. He has been quite an outstanding force, and I'm looking forward to him once again if they're playing CT on that B site, and he is such a beast at it. He is just so consistent that it's unbearable to watch sometimes. You see these teams just plowing into him almost. He's a player that I'm looking at to do well here, but he's kind of put into the same category for me almost as that kind of God B style, where it's like these players coming back into the scene and they're warming up so quickly and they're getting so good so fast. It's so brilliant to watch. So hopefully they can find some good form here. And then on the Dignitas side of things, I don't know.
Yeah,
Once again, another team that I don't get to see that often, considering I haven't consistently casted CS in a while.
Yeah.
But very talented, extraordinarily good.
Well, I mean, talking to talented,
can they get anything going?
You got Kirby in there who just turned 17 the other week. AZ's come in, has played amazing. This is very much a young team, almost effectively being now guided by an experienced pimp. I don't even know if you can call him that. It's like he's kind of like the veteran in the team. I don't know. Certainly sorted himself out, no doubt about it. Pimp has. I was talking about this at Pro League actually. How he's buffed himself up now. He's got a bit older. But how do we count rate Dignitas? I mean, clearly they're a very emotional team. I noticed that from Pro League. You know, they get very high on their wins and very low on their losses, which, I mean, that's just
a young team,
that's just the young competitive players, I guess.
Pretty much, and I guess that's it to a T, that once they do kind of grow into it a little bit, maybe they won't suffer so badly from the losses and only gain from the wins. But they're a young team with a lot of talent, and there's just nothing to say beyond that. It's just, can they make it all work against some of the other big teams that have everything locked down and in place? So Cash for me is going to be quite defining. I think it's I'm actually a massive fan of this map to cast and to play personally. I think it's probably one of the better ones. Is like an even kind of start for these two, rather than maybe having something that's like super in one team's favor. I think Dignitas can keep toe-to-toe with Titan, but this is just a close game, I feel. I genuinely feel this is going to be a close game.
Well, we'll see how it works out. The teams are just warming up, by the way, guys. Don't worry, we are waiting for them to get in there. It was due to start at 7 p.m. on the dot, but at the moment it's 7:08 and they're not ready to go. But what do you expect? I mean, the players are in there. What I want to talk about, though, is we've had a change in the map pool. Obviously, we're not going to see it today, but Nuke is now out and Train is in. We heard from Get Right yesterday, if you maybe caught it. Get Right and Dupree actually talking about how obviously nobody's really had a chance to look at it. I think he said he's had 3 practice matches on it max.
Yeah.
But of course, Train was one of his favorites. He talked about how he was unhappy when it got removed originally.
Yeah, because NIP were always extraordinarily strong on that. Like when CSGO kind of first came out, and it was, that was in the map pool in this really, really old iteration that feels like a lifetime ago now. NIP were phenomenal on that map. I think only Virtus Pro were able to particularly challenge them, if I'm not mistaken. And no one ever played them on it because they were that good. It kind of became like you just don't touch them on that map because they were that, above the rest. But the new Train is a new Train, and it's kind of just going to have to see who can maybe put the most time into it, work it out the most, who can maybe not have to, I don't know, play a million games during the week and have maybe a day where they can just go through the map, do dry runs, and just kind of work out the flashes, the smokes, everything they need in their arsenal, because it's changed, it's very new, and I'm just hoping Get Right's still in the Get Right spot. So I'm just hoping that still exists.
It feels like to me that, obviously with the bundle's finally over. We've had the major everybody prepared for. We've had this big run of LAN events, and suddenly we're like, okay, time to settle down,
maybe
prepare. Start preparing for the next major. That's what it seems to me. It's like the bookends sort of come in there at the end of Face It the other day. And now it's like, okay, guys, Train. Everybody needs to prepare for it. We know it's in the map pool. We know it's coming with the next major. Time to prepare. Time to get back into it. I know for a fact Guardian was upstairs when we were here. They were talking about it as well with MBK, and they were like, yeah, you don't want to pick Train against us because it's like one of our favorite maps. Knife round did just happen. This is the match that is about to happen, and it is Titan versus Dignitas, and Dignitas won the knife. I'm guessing they're going to stick with the CT side, and we'll see how it goes. So, you guys at home, well, you can vote over on pro.eslgaming.com for which match and which team you want to win. Don't forget the /CSGO is quite important, I've been told, because you'll end up in another game, and you wouldn't want to do that. You want to end up in CSGO. Titan, 68% to 32% of Dignitas. So you guys at home feel that Titan are going to take this one. Well, the pistol round is underway. Let's see how it goes.
And I get my wish. I get to see Titan on the T side. I'm really looking forward to this one. And let's see where they go for first. It looks like they're kind of bread and butter towards A for now, but nothing beginning. But look at Dignitas. Their aggression off the B side has cleared it all out. They're pretty much aware of where Titan aren't, so therefore finding out where they are. It's going to have to be a big A execute coming through, and it looks like it's just about beginning, but KGB there just sitting back. Nice little pop flash off the top. AZ does find Apex, and this should be their round.
Going to catch him into the corner. Oh, Kirby down. AZ very low on health. Can they get in? The bomb plant's still yet to go in. Plenty of time on the board. AZ almost nothing, but Dignitas are clearing them out already. They do get the bomb plant in there, but that is all it's going to be. And that was a great rotation there. I think it was Pimp that managed to get around the back of them.
No, it was MSL. MSL right around the back. It was so good. They were the early aggressors on that B side. They pushed up, not necessarily immediately, but super quick. So got around the back, knew they went at B, and then they continued to push around once that push began towards the A side. So nicely handled by Team Dignitas in the end. So they get themselves the first pistol round on the board, and the T side go for what we've kind of grown accustomed to here, the big investment into round 2 with the Tech 9s, the armor, and seeing what they can make off the back of it.
I was just about to say, but look at Dignitas, they're not going for an SMG, and then Pimp picks one up at the end, so why not? We'll see if this second round buy works out. It's something that has been prevalent pretty much throughout every single team. Everybody does this now. You used to talk about how the pistol buy-up used to be the American Cloud9 style, but everybody does the Tech 9s nowadays in the second round. Smokes are going to delay things. It looks like it is going to be an A push for Titan. And Dignitas sitting deep on the defensive A side this time. You can see them. One back at truck, one back in mid.
Yeah, nice little smoke there to allow Maniac access towards the site. He's going to be out towards quad, already claiming it. Titan should get a very comfortable bomb plant here, and Digger just going to play for the retake. It's something we saw during those offline finals not too long ago, so a little bit of fire comes in. AZ off of short does catch a glimpse of one by quad, but the retake should go Dig's way here. They've got at least the first down, but there's still so many of those Tech 9s up on the board. They can do a lot of damage. RPK finds one in existence, waits patiently. Does manage to claim Nico. AZ now going to have to try and come around the side. 2v3, make it 3v0. It doesn't matter. The nade came through and MSL cleaned up in the end. Defuse comes out and a good retake from Dig. This is something that I was hoping to see again. Their kind of passive play on towards the site where they kind of, I'm pretty sure it's KGB who just played by truck almost during those offline finals, very deep with the AWP when he was able to get it in the end. And it was just brilliant to watch. Really excited to see if he goes for that one again here. But still, 2 rounds in a row for Dig. But Titan did get, you know, a bomb plant down then, so it's not the end of the world for them. Yeah,
they managed to get in there. More importantly, they forced Dignitas to push through the smoke, and they pushed through as one, it seemed, in the end there. Nico, he is going to be saving, it seems, keeping hold of one of those Tech 9s from the previous round. You can see it was Existence's Tech 9, so looks like they're going to just make use of that and see the rest of the team, of course, with those rifles. This time around, Titan going to take it a little slower. Apex, ordinarily the entry fragger this time, going to be the man that tries to peek around, get something around the back. Maniac's just seeing if he can draw any fire. Does draw out a molly. Job done. Backs away.
It'd be something the team's getting used to. Maniac has quite specific spots at times. He loves going towards Squeaky. He did it last round. There was a smoke that came down towards kind of forklift and covering, so he was able to push towards site. However, this time KGB is kind of pushed in towards the side itself. So slight variation there. The smoke will go down again, but a nice counter flash will stop Maniac being able to push through and allow them to readjust.
Kirby and AZ. Kirby's going to be the man.
Oh,
catches one. That's the bomb. They know exactly where it is. Rotation comes out. Good use of the fan house. Gets himself a second. AZ up top. He'll pick off with the pistol. And that was a very clean round for Dignitas in the end.
Yeah, really well positioned. I'm not sure who put that flash into place, but as soon as that smoke went down by Forklift to allow Maniac to push out, it just stopped him and it kind of threw the timing off for Titan. And it was just really well done in the end. So 3-0, kind of clean start for Dignitas, some close rounds. But we are going to see the AWP now playing out for both teams, Kenny S and Nico. So Nico kind of opted out of even having a gun in the last one, just going with that Tech 9 that he'd managed to pick up. So well warranted, well worth it. And let's see where kind of Kenny S takes this one and see if he can show that real confidence that he used to have.
Interesting, Kirby's stuck with the FAMAS. He could have bought quite easily an M4, and yet he's gone with the FAMAS. Okay, maybe he's preferring it at the moment. I don't know, maybe the position he's working with. As it was, he did get taken down the last round, but could have afforded the M4 in that. Nonetheless, Maniac peeking, seeing if he can get anything. Again, lurking around that door, bomb. Still just sitting around mid, and we are once again seeing RPK trying to peek.
But I do like this, almost a 3-man, not necessarily stack from Dig, but attentive kind of focus towards mid. And you can see why. They know how they want to play. AZ takes down Kenny S, who didn't even have armor in this round, so Glass canning in. But Pimp actually works his way out of vent. He's right next to them. He's got 3 players in front. He just goes crazy straight in, gets dealt with, but sets up AZ for the double, and that's brilliant. 4v2 now. They shouldn't lose out on this, but RPK finding one, but the bomb's loose. They know what it is, and I'm pretty sure they know where Maniac is by now. So, in theory, he should be locked down.
Yeah, MSL charging around the back as well. Nico's going to end it, though. Maniac was in there, but Dignitas had that one locked down, and like you say, Pimp just straight up mid, making use of the smokes, actually, to get in their faces. 4-0, good start for Dignitas on the CT side here on Cash. The first match of the tournament, the ESL ESEA Pro League. $500,000 overall is on the line for these teams.
Yeah, Titan forced to go for that kind of scrape together Tech 9 purchase. Nothing too much to be working with there overall, but they could probably scrape something out, maybe a bomb plant. They're always good at getting those in towards A if they work on it. But yeah, as I was saying, I really like the way last round that they pushed, I think it was Pimp up into the vents. And then they had AZ on short, super attentive towards mid, and then Nico as well watching it too. So they had 3 players almost dedicated. But now the stack that we've seen coming out previously from Titan towards Squeaky. So 3 players, I believe, are there, which could change things up here, and only Existence by main.
Is it answered by an incendiary every single time that door opens? We'll see whether Dignitas do it again. Maniac's been popping that Squeaky door open, and immediately an incendiary goes in there. This time the flashes will come in. Kirby's going to catch one. Will catch a second. Will the third line up? It's all perfect for them. And that is the bomb now loose. They know where the 4th is, and the 5th has also been collected around the other side of the map. And that was as clean can be for Dignitas. 5-0. Titan starting to ask some questions. It was just a Tech 9 rush. This time they can go back to the AWP once again for Kenny S, but yet to get anything. Not even an assist on the board for Kenny so far.
Yeah, and I think Pimp's going to drop out the AWP for Nico. Nico's looking for it. He's like, come on, buddy, help me out. There we go. So they will be even recovering that. Nico did go down last round, but they will manage to get it back. But this time, Kenny does at least have armor, so he can maybe be a little more secure in those plays. But look at the aggression straight up from Dignitas on towards B as well. You caught it at the start. Straight up, getting Pimp over towards those vents, getting control of Checkers, and just leaving kind of them in position. But MSL finding RPK early on, kind of takes away any presence towards B, but the vast majority of Titan are on A.
Yeah, Kirby actually went very aggressive, pushed out A main, and Apex managed to find him. He pushed through the smoke himself there. So that's left A a little short, and we can see already Titan are gathering in and around there. They're not going to push on through yet, but AZ's all alone. Nico checking the angle from mid as well. He's covering off into Squeaky.
And I love the effect of what MSL and Pimp have been doing towards B, making sure Existence isn't able to join them straight up. He's still kind of lurking around the back, trying to keep tabs on making sure no one's going on that flank so they can actually execute. And let's see what they go for in the end. Bomb is still loose. They're maybe still trying to work something out, leaving Kenny to try and find a pick towards quad, but no one's there. AZ just playing site, and Digger playing quite deep right now, excluding maybe AZ. And let's see where this push comes in towards AZ. Still utilizing the smoke. Apex and Co starting to edge in. They've got good control over the A site. They should be able to get the bomb down, but no, AZ gets one. A quick exchange, but the bomb will go down with Kenny S, but the flames just hold him off for a second, but the rest of his team's just kind of chiming in at the right time.
Yeah, Existence and Kenny do manage to get the kills down there, and that leaves Pimp all alone. Well, they've picked up 5 rounds, so there's no reason why he doesn't go for this. He's even got Julius in his hand, for crying out loud. He does manage to find Existence, but
he's big pimping.
Just the sheer fact that he's behind that box is just infuriating him. He knows he can't step around because there's likely to be someone watching. Doesn't matter, he finds Existence anyway. He's not going to be able to get the defuse from this one. Just going to try and clean up, get some rifles.
And to be fair, if he does, the T-side aren't fantastic on their economy, and Pimp's going to make it a little worse. So Kenny will get out with that AWP. There's no way he's going to try and even chance that, and Pimp will recover Nico. So at least both teams get to keep that, but Kenny's good. Kenny is good. Kenny gets to keep the AWP, and it's all fine. But Titan do get the first round on the board, and it was just nicely played towards A in the end. It took a little bit of time to get there, but once they executed, they had so many players on towards the site that really AZ was only able to get the exchange.
Oh, double AWP set up for Dignitas. We'll see how that works out for them. Pimp is going to keep hold of his AWP, and Nico's like, nah, it's all right, guys. I bought my own. No skin in it, though, unfortunately. But yeah, that was down to Kirby. Kirby pushing out onto A main, went aggressive, which sometimes does work, catches your opponent off guard, but this is a B push and a fast one for Kenny.
Yeah, this is much different. Apex actually opening up. That's what I was looking for. Apex finding that kind of role that he falls into every now and then, that opening fragger that he's so good at with Kenny as well. So good start, but now where do they take it? They've opened up B, but there's 2 players trying to gain control towards mid. AZ and KHB are actually moving up. Apex is going to boost up Kenny. He could get caught out here. Look at that. That could be a counter boost coming into play. Yeah. Will Kenny check? He's going to spot it, just about gets away, doesn't even get damaged. And that was quite lucky on his behalf.
A little peekaboo there, yeah, just kept him at bay. Kirby does throw out the incendiary. That's going to keep him at bay. But look at MSL. MSL's got himself tucked in around the corner, and that's caught Titan completely off guard. Gets himself a double, backs back into B site, and that's kind of stopped Titan's attack dead in his tracks. Kenny with the bomb. He's going to try and peek around there, but Kirby's not going to be the one that peeks out. Kenny's going to have to go looking. Gets flashed out. Is that going to force Kirby out? No, he's going to stay in the corner.
Well, Kenny's just going to try and be the linchpin here. He's going to allow the other 2 to try and push through to create that pincer, but
They've took over mid.
Yeah, exactly. That's the pincer that's coming in. Maniac's going to try and push through, but KHB does deny Kenny. However, 2 kills coming in, but there's still MSL. He's still holding the site. He's still got that bomb, and there's only 20 seconds left. Existence is going to have to pull out something beautiful here. 2 AWPs. He's got the smoke for the cross. The bomb is down, but he's going to have to try and make this into a 1v1 somehow. I don't know how he plans to do it. He goes for the first towards heaven, doesn't get it, but did he spot the one in checkers? No, and MSL does have an outstanding round picking up 4 then. But the important factor there was, even though they got control in mid, they didn't check where KHB was, and he was able to deny Kenny, which then left the bomb kind of, in this kind of middle ground, and it was just so awkward then to push in towards that B site.
More importantly, the 4 kills for MSL as well. Beautifully done there, surprising them pushing out of B after delaying a little bit. And that's all after Titan got that opening frag. 6-1, Dignitas with the lead on the CT side. Double AWP once again, and of course, this time it's, I want to call it an eco when there's Tech 9s in there, but it's definitely a mismatch from Titan. Just three Tech 9s, all they could afford a P250. And that is going to put problems for Titan. Yet to really find a foothold against Dignitas here as the T side.
Yeah, Titan's starting to struggle a little bit. Obviously, they've had minimal full buys. I'm trying to think back to when they've had a full purchase. Kenny's had some armor, but then you don't get the kind of complementary mollies and such, which probably could have really helped them out on these B plays when we've had consistent players pushing in towards those vents, aka Pimp. But Titan have had some luck towards B. I say luck, you know, Apex has opened up sometimes, but then you get MSL as well, who's had these wonderfully played out rounds that can be hard to counter, and Pimp will just be watching. Shot through the legs there. RPK does get the tag, but the timing on the nades and the flashes coming through is going to start hurting, and look at it already. Apex so low. This could be a very tough push, even to try and make an impact with those Tech 9s.
Yeah, with no armor on there, it's definitely forced them back. Second thoughts has been had by Titan. They're going to rotate round. Maniac is now, well, is in his usual position. He's at Squeaky. He's going to go and knock in once again. Let's see if AZ's going to respond like he has done the last 7 rounds. They've all got themselves stacked in around. They're pushing up towards A main. Meanwhile, there's a push in mid as well. The bomb is actually making its way through mid. Kenny S, they're going to be coming up short as well. So RPK is going to lead the charge. It's not going to work out. Kiebu and AZ, they just cut them all down in their tracks. Existence, well, you can't call too much for your team when you're the only man standing. 7-1. Clean stuff from Dignitas. No really worries for them, honestly. Even against that pistol, they stayed very disciplined. Didn't go hunting for the kills, just stayed in their positions.
Yeah, another shoddy buy for Titan as well. Kenny cannot afford armor either, so everyone else has a fairly decent buy. They get, what, 2 smokes, flashes, but nothing else really. This is those kind of like cobbled together buys where their executes may suffer a little. But let's see what they make of it. I want to see their kind of patented A executes that really started working before for them, but I don't know if it's because Kenny's not confident, but already MSL taking down 1 in mid is going to cut this play towards A in half, but they're going to try and make a push out of it anyway. They're already out on towards the side, but look at this. Nico aggressively pushed up by that fence, going to land towards 1. That's RPK down. Looks for a second, just about misses, but there's KHB right there and waiting, and now just Maniac left. The Dignitas defense on A has been perfect.
Tried to get him through the wall and very nearly did as Maniac backs off. He does have the bomb, and this is a foot race right now, but he's never going to be able to beat. It's actually, he's just going to try and save it. I think he might even just try and save the Tech 9 here. No, he's going to go for it. Why not? Because they've lost that many rounds back to back. It's not really going to do too much of a dent in it. Actually, Kebu's, well, he's in vents. Did he hear anything? Don't think he heard the footsteps, but he's certainly going to see Maniac. He's going to shoot. He's not looking. Now he is. I was going to say, is he going to turn around? Is it going to be one of those moments where they just pass each other in the night and don't even look the other way? But it is another round for Dignitas. 8-1, and Dignitas, they are seemingly shell-shocked from this one because this game has not started well for them. Yeah,
Titan really struggling here. On the T side, you want at least enough to cover maybe the pistol going into the second round, and at the moment, they really don't have that. 1 round is not enough. There's no 2 ways to say it. It's simply not good enough. Maniac maybe taking a second to discuss things through here. These guys need to maybe reset in their mind what's going on, because this isn't a round, and this is something that they've done before, where they'll take maybe a couple of seconds just to discuss, talk things through, work things out, make sure everything's working. A little bit of a mouse wiggle there. But just to try and make sure whatever's going on can be discussed through. This is the time. You know, this round, they don't expect much out of it, essentially. You know, there's no armor, there's nothing to really create much from. They could go for an all-in play maybe and try and pick something up with Existence watching the back, but Pimp with those dualies just chilling out.
Yeah, I mean, obviously 8-7 is the best they could hope for from here, but realistically a 10-5 is a possibility if they were to pick something up in the next round once they get them rifles out. But as it stands, they've struggled to break through. This time around they may do, but Pimp opens up the first account. We'll get one down. MSL from Vents. He's going to get the molly down. Kenny S not looking this direction. Will get caught out, but not taken down. The grenade does it for him. And there is Kiebi, and that's just such a quick, clean pickup. Existence did manage to rescue himself an M4 from somebody's body, but he's in a 1v3 situation, which is nigh on impossible. They know kind of where he is. The bomb's already dropped in B, so they're just setting up simple defensive perimeter.
Yeah, with 20 seconds left, I don't think he's going to get much. Kirby might be able to spot him. No, he might go just walking around at the perfect timing. But Existence just wants to keep this gun, I think. If he can get away with it, maybe it's not the end of the world, but they might start hunting him out soon. I don't know how much Dig have money-wise, but they're pretty well set, to be fair. Nice little connection from Existence. Takes one away. But sadly, it wasn't the AWP, but it's still a gun away from Team Dignitas, and they do manage to retain that M4. So, not badly played out in the end by Existence and just being able to try and limit the damage, but I haven't seen Kenny S with full armor and full nades yet on that AWP. They've been so throttled for money throughout this game that it's hard to see Time breaking back in here.
Yeah, Nico had 12k, start of that, just bought for...
Look at Kenny has his stats. He's 1-9.
109. It's not quite the 0015 Cajun B, but it's not far off. We'll see how it goes for him. Dignitas at the moment in a very solid position for the first match in the ESL ESEA Pro League. It's going to be a mouthful that I'm going to have to try and say many times. Apex flashed out. That buys times for Pimp to back himself away there. Maybe just caught a glimpse of them himself. Knows that they are setting up here. Not a full rotation from Dignitas though, but it certainly is for Time.
Yeah, Maniac just got at least a bit of a pick going on, so this is probably why they're starting to consider the rotate. Or maybe they just want to catch a couple out, get control in mid, get control somewhere on this map, because that's something they're lacking. But look at that, Nico, smoked out, has to back away. Kenny does not get the spot in towards mid, so they're going to have to try and work something out here, because Titan still, even with a pick into this, don't have any ground to go towards. There's still 3 players at B.
Yeah, they've loaded 3 on B, and it's a gamble that may actually work for them, because look at Titan, they're coming straight back here. The molly from Pimp on towards Checkers will cover anyone going through vents, which is exactly where we just saw Apex and Existence creeping through. They're going to catch a glimpse of one. I think Existence would have seen one there as he passed on round. Yeah, Apex picks up the kill. So B site cleared open. They didn't realize about Pimp in the background though. He gets 1, 2, and 3. Switches to his Julius, tries to flash himself out there. Will he have enough time? No. Kenny S will shut it down. It's all on AZ. AZ pushes on through. He gets himself a double. And it's 10-1 now for Dignitas. Titan did just about everything they could right there, except check the corner.
Yeah, Pimp just played it so well to the timing. Just at the end then showing his hand, waiting it out in that corner. And well, I'm surprised Titan didn't check, really. It was just, you know, Pimp's been on that side the whole time, maybe expecting him to take the plays towards A or play in towards mid, or, you know, been in those vents, but, you know, they should have checked it, and it was just maybe that frustration kind of kicking in for Titan that, oh, okay, finally we got something here, let's push it, and then not checking.
I just wondered, because they knew it was down to a 4-man situation, they just assumed it'd be 2 on A, 2 on B. Just like a standard split defense. They got 2 down and were like, okay, A side, B spot's clear, moved in. Wait, where's that guy just come from? Doesn't matter, because, well, Maniac has pushed out early on Squeaky. He will get taken down by AZ, though. Managed to get KB down. The rest of his team are going to respond. That grenade will find the legs of Apex, but that's about all. And that molly's going to be on point. Nico's got himself 1, and Titan forced to back away again. RPK suddenly all alone. They know exactly where he is. Oh,
RPK.
My word.
What a beast as well. This guy can play. There's no questioning of their talent, but can he pull it together to pull off a 1v4? Spots 1 on short. Not going to get it. Bomb. He's going for the full here. MSL is just behind him as well. He might predict this to a degree, because MSL has consistently been doing that, but goes for the challenge towards short. Not going to get it. MSL's molly just placed very well for the push out, and the fuse will come in. And I've got to say it, Titan just not having any impact into these sites some of the times. They're just struggling to get anything beyond a 1-for-1 trade, because every time you take down one of Dignitas, there's someone immediately there to kind of follow up and kind of pick up the slack, whereas Titan just don't seem to get that second shot in.
Yeah, whether they're not following through with the revenge frags, you know, we saw Maniac coming through door, and he did open things up nicely, but then suddenly once he was shut down, that attack was seemingly stopped in its tracks. 11-1 to Dignitas. A magical start for Dignitas, honestly. They're going to be delighted with this one, as talking about that confidence that they have as a team. Maniac, a lot of shaking of that mouse going on, a lot of disagreement maybe going on in comms, I don't know, but it seems like it's going to be a distraction for B. And Apex has got himself in a pretty good position here early on. No smokes down either from Dignitas yet.
No, they've still got time to buy mollies and smokes for days, and you might see that come into practice here. Smoke towards CT from the T is going to start making their way in. MSL this time over by that back box, but it's going to be MSL finding Maniac early on, and this is just shooting fish in a barrel. Titan finally get towards the site, and it's a 2-for-2 exchange, but Nico already in spot, finds one. AZ cleans up through the vents, and 1 by 1, Titan just get taken down.
An Existence all alone again, on site. Bombing Checkers, they have their eyes on it. AZ's just waiting. Going to find his time to get this one. Is he going to try and smoke it and back away? He's got 43 seconds. It's just about enough time to rotate, but I don't think he's really got a chance. Now he's completely pinned in. Yeah, he's got no chance out of this one. It's going to have to be a bit of magic from Existence to try and keep himself alive. Instead, he's going to go for the flash onto site. Now they know he's there. As soon as they hear that plant, 3 members of Dignitas all close in. He's burning. He's going to extinguish it with the smoke. Try and back away. But, well, it's an a pretty standard position that he's backed into, and KB will get him down. Defuse, and 12-1 for Dignitas now, as they really look to just dominate Titan here in the first match.
Yeah, Titan are being decimated. They're just not playing to par. Kenius on 4 kills? That's not good. That's really not good. And then you look in comparison to the Orpa on the other side, Nico only really on 5, but those 5 have been perfect, you know, and then you get the likes of, you know, Pimp picking up the Orp as well. You got every other player being able to pick it up when they need it. So
it's not even just Kenny S either, it's Apex as well. You look at, he was at 5, I think. You know, when your entry fragger and your Orpa are both that low, you're really not got a lot to work with. You just got to hope that somebody else works for you. Kirby does go aggressive. He pops out of A main. It's going to be a fast push onto A site this time around. Let's see if it works for Dig.
Well, Digger holding on and holding damn strong. AZ does find RPK, but it's going to have to come onto the others now, pick up the slack, and they do. Perfectly back-to-back. They just dispatch of Titan. Titan are just not getting any impact kills into this, and they're going down so quickly. Yeah, they got AZ, but then they'll still Pimp on site. They'll still Kievi on short. And hell, let's bear in mind, MSL's probably behind them at some point. So everything Titan are bringing, just Dignitas have an answer for straight away.
Existence all alone. Bomb on site. He's going to creep his way around that smoke, left perfectly for a little gap that KB can see. Look at the crossfire they have. He's got himself the bomb. Is he going to make tracks? Is he just going to run for it? 40 seconds. He knows that there's going to be one up there. And we know there's one up there. He's peeking, he sees him, gets the headshot, but now they know his position. Tries to flash himself out. The flash will not quite work out for him. Pimp had looked away. And will pick himself up. Another round for Dignitas. 13-1. It's a decimation. Titan made to look amateur right now by Dignitas.
Yeah, this is really worrying for Titan to be losing this badly against Team Dignitas. I don't know what's going on their side of things, but it's just not clicking. And you can see it in the way they're playing. They're trying the same things, and it's just still not working out. I'd love to see them switch up a little bit. You know, every time they try and switch something up, it just seems to go just as badly wrong. So, looking into this round, once again, Titan maybe trying to gain a little bit more control towards mid, maybe late boosting Kenny up. But then again, he doesn't have the AWP to work with, but he does at least have the AK in existence. Does get himself through towards mid. Great work there towards Nico, maybe taking the opening role, but not predicting Pimp in the vents is a huge error. This man has been dancing in these since the start of this game. And now, 1-for-1 trade. Can Dignitas do what they've done best every single time now?
Kirby is covering their main, but I think it was AZ was looking the opposite direction. They've both been taken down now, and they've gone into this passive defensive position you're talking about. Well, Kirby's been taken out of it.
A's open.
A is wide open. MSL. Oh, AZ's going to come around. He finds himself one on Kenny S, but he's been taken pretty low. They know where he's coming from. He needs the support of MSL, which is coming, but is he going to wait for it? Is the confidence high enough that AZ's just going to run straight in there? He has the cover. This is perfectly worked for Dignitas. Can they get the retake? Still a big ask, and a 3-on-2. Flashes in the right place. They know where they are. Nicely done. Titan do get themselves such an important second round, but that's Alex Nair right there. And I'm stood up. How you doing?
Hey, guys.
I like to cast standing up. But 13-2. 13-2 for Dignitas. Wow. I mean, that's not really what we had down. When we looked at this matchup, we're like, first game, this could be really close between Titan and Dig. And maybe even Titan were looking at it that way, but Dig, damn, they've come out firing.
Yeah, Dig looks so good right now, and the way they're playing is just on point. Maybe it's partially Titan are playing badly, but then, you know, credit for Dignitas for just punishing them on that. They're not even messing around at all. They are on point, their rotations are perfect, and even as individuals, they're stepping up so well here.
Well, you can see, we are back into the pistol. No.
No, we're not.
No, we're in a warm-up. I was like, if we're in the pistol, how's Existence got himself an M4? He's cheating. Cheating, damn it. I guess there was a server issue. That's all I can assume, the fact they're having the warm-up pitch. So it's going to be bouncing around. Well, we'll see.
It wouldn't be online CS without some sort of server issues, right?
Yeah. Well, maybe, I mean, that's always the big thing with servers as well. So where does the server get played? The agreements that these teams have to have. When a French team versus a Danish team, do they end up in Sweden? Do they end up in Denmark? Where do they go? Do they go maybe to Holland?
I don't know. We'll see.
The problems.
Yeah. I'm hoping it gets resolved, though. I think everything is good.
Yeah, they're back in there.
And I think the pistol round is about to begin. So, enough of us. more of the game. I believe.
You believe? I don't believe because I'm not in it. You're in it though. I can see it from your screen. So let's see. It is going to be Dignitas. They're actually moving in towards B site. We're going to go straight back to the radio style. They are hanging around and they've actually got themselves in on site completely clear because Titan looked like they've guessed for either a mid or an A.
And well, they guessed completely wrong. Dignitas have control of the site. They've got the bomb down. They're in good positions. And this has just gone and given them the perfect start. Titan, what on earth are you doing? I guess you got to risk it for a biscuit, but this is about to crumble into their tea as AZ already finds 2. Pimp chimes in for 2 himself, excuse me, rather than AZ, and this is just shooting fish in a barrel. Oh, wow.
Pimp.
That was just over in an instance. Dig are just playing out of their minds.
Triple for Pimp in the pistol, 14-2. Almost a GG, I would say, for Dignitas because, damn, they are absolutely wrecking Titan here. And while I wonder whether Titan are into that no-speaking phase that you always go through in CS. Once you start losing those rounds, that's it. I'm not talking anymore.
I would hope that they're slightly better than you at matchmaking. I don't know.
I would assume they certainly are as well, that's for sure. But we do see the ump coming out for both AZ and Nico.
Another A stack.
It's the Labyrinth, another A stack. This time around it might work out. They are ready and waiting for it, but that grenade is going to be on point. It's going to catch on towards. Doesn't get enough. Apex pops around the corner. Beautiful flash. Gets himself one, not a second. They are all stacked up there, and he would have got all the information, and this has worked out well for Titan. The stack works wonders, and the pistols are not. They managed to wreck Dignitas on towards A. Is it enough, though? It's still an impossible ask almost. 14-3 the score. Just no errors can be made for the next, well, 13 rounds.
Yeah, exactly. It's a little bit of a tough one to turn around, you know, round by round, I guess. You know, we tote that phrase, but that phrase can only go so far. One error pretty much costs you it, and that's a simple kind of basis of this. And to be fair to Dig, they can just kind of brute force a good couple of rounds. They're going to try it right now, just brute force B, why not? If they catch someone off, great. If not, oh well. And look, MSL and KHB get 2, so already they've got the bomb down, and they're set up fairly well. Sadly, they don't get guns out of it.
No, the Molly will force them out. That's going to be a clean exit as Kirby gets himself another. Now he's got an M4. Now this is a really big problem for Titan. And now as he manages to get Apex down, they're in serious trouble. Reads Maniac's position, but luckily he manages to get the kill and the defuse. But there's no money for Titan. They've just lost everyone. The bomb plant came in from Dig, and well, they are in serious problems. 14-4, and that's just the danger. When Dignitas are this far ahead, they can just afford to just, you know what, let's just pile into sight and see what happens.
Yeah, and I want to see the buy-up coming out from Titan. It's not too bad. RPK is going to be a little light, I guess, for gunpowder, but still, you got Kenny S, he's got the AWP, you've got what you need to a degree. They're opting to go in for those mollies as well, so they're okay for money, and the T-side gets the buy without the AWP. So both teams relatively well off, but let's see how this pans out. This is Dig now on the T-side with a decent enough buy. RPK quite aggressive in mid, going to get himself into those vents. So quite a similar setup almost, and I love this boost.
Yep. Oh, it didn't work.
Love it. Oh no, why?
I think they were trying it, but it didn't work. Whether someone slipped off their head. If you're unsure what it is, you can check it out. I'm sure you've seen it many times. It's Kenny just boosting them across.
And it's always Maniac. It's the Maniac spot. It's something that Semler pointed out during the offline finals of this tournament's previous iteration, that Maniac will always love to be up in that little boost. You got to check it every time you play this team on this map. So already Apex quite aggressively pushed up towards mid as well. And they're waiting maybe for that mid push to come out from Dig, see if they actually do it with a flash over the back. But at the moment, quite a tentative start for Dignitas, slowing things down a little.
Oh, Kenny S finds himself the opening shot. Apex is ready though, just below, gets himself one, gets himself a second. And that may well stop Dignitas in their tracks. Just Kirby and Pimp remaining. Bomb is going to get collected as they regroup. Checking that Apex didn't push on through mid. And now looks like B is going to be the location they're going to go towards. Existence is the man there ready and waiting for them, but he is all alone. He has support from Apex. He could easily push through vents or come around the back, but they are going to creep their way in there. And as of yet, they're not expecting it.
But Existence has that wonderful perching point, but he does get taken down in the end by Pimp. Time is of the essence, 10 seconds. Plenty of time to plant, but now 1v2. He's going to be in a tough situation, and Apex will land the shot. And the retake will be successful. So Titan do get another one on the board. And I don't know what was going on almost until this point. Titan now starting to get to that respectable-ish scoreline-ish. But as we said, there's no room for errors, and this is a dangerous predicament to be in.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes, whether they can keep clocking it up, because we said about it in the pistol before for Dignitas. They're going to be picking these Tech 9s up, or double Julies for Pimp, as it were, and they're just going to pile on through to our site, and it can catch Titan off guard. The speed that they're going to go at. Let's see. It's going to be a B rush again. Everybody coming in. Choo-choo train heading in. It's going to be Pimp that's leading the charge. And well, RPK, you're about to get very busy with M4.
Smoke's there. They do have one flash if they want to push it through. There we go. So flash comes into play, but it is just the perfect lineup for RPK. And well, the train has been derailed, and mostly at RPK's hands, coupled with existence every now and then. It's really clean.
It's helping for the stats, at least. Let's put it that way.
It's helping the score
It's
line
starting to get their stats a little bit more respectable, but it's still a long way off for Titan right now. Like you say, helping for the scoreline as well. A 16-6 is still not great, but it's starting to look a little bit more impressive than a potential 16-2 if they'd have hadn't have. Honestly, Dignitas hadn't have messed up in their second round on T-side. They should have run away with it, should have shut it out, but it isn't. And it is going to be another fast pile in towards B site. One man all alone. I think it was Pimp that was just the distraction, but Titan are going to flash themselves out here. I think Existence going for this one. Does manage to find himself one, doesn't get the kill. It's Nico that he saw. He had support with his Existence as well. Yeah,
RPK going to try and help him out here, but I don't think Existence is going to get away from this one, but does he want to? No. Gets a great tag through the smoke towards MSL, I believe. Molly to just trickle down towards the back of it. And this is great play. No one off the back has begun to push around, however. So really, nothing lost for Titan in this one. Really nicely done. Just going to slow down Dignitas completely.
Read the reloads as well so well there. And his exit managing to get out. That means, of course, the rotate is on from Dignitas. We can see them crawling their way forward. MSL is going to be the man that leads it, because he's only got 5 hit points. He's going to be the fodder, as it were,
in the
for
Maniac
Nico.
spot. They have to check this. They have to.
Yeah. I mean, this is almost become a standard spot, I would say, on Cash these days. That we saw Virtus Pro actually make use of this spot quite heavily as well. There's the smoke, straight away countering the flash. Maniac ready.
Please check.
Yeah, they're already looking. You can see they're already... No! AZ comes around, didn't expect it. He's going to drop down. He's not going to get the second. In fact, he's going to go into Squeaky.
This is unreal. He's going to get 2, surely. Still hunting it down. MSL will be caught, and this is a disaster. Dignitas, how the hell do you not check that? Even in some capacity, surely.
When it's called the Maniac spot, you got to check it for Maniac. It's one of those unwritten rules that maybe you should do. 14-7. Is it possible? Who knows? It's a long way to go still. But Dignitas back to pistols. We're going to see whether they manage to just derail this Titan train that's starting to get a little more confident.
Yeah, Titan starting to maybe feel a little bit better, but once again, one single mistake and Dignitas are on match point. It's a best of 1, bearing in mind. And look at this play. Apex and Maniac going quite aggressive here, pop flashing in towards main. Nice on Molly to follow, but they could be overwhelmed. This could be a little bit dangerous, and this aggression can really catch you out. And Titan just not hitting their shots. Kenny S goes down. He was so aggressively pushed towards site, and Dignitas have control. That's the danger now they face. Okay, they took a risk, but was it even worthwhile? That double flash, it almost got him paying off, but I don't know about this one. It's going to be a hard retake. Pimp already finds existence, and RPK gets pinned to the wall, and Dignitas take themselves to match point. Mostly because Titan said, hey, we'll give you the opportunity.
They only lost 1 person in a pistol against Rifles. The aggression of Titan was equally matched by the pistol power and prowess that Dignitas seemingly had. And now it is match point. Titan, well, they can't afford to slip up anymore. And Apex, just with that CZ75, has almost impossible task. This time, Nico with the AWP, choosing to favor it. Kenny S with the AWP, but as of yet to have a great impact on this game.
I don't know what to make of this game now, but Kenny does at least find Nico, so that's going to boost the confidence a little bit right there, but can they follow it up now? There's still 3 players stacked on A for Titan, so they're fairly confident here, or at least fairly comfortable with it. They've left mid completely open, though. There's no one there to defend it. Existence pushed up at B, and now Dig just need to find the right pacing here, the right place to push, and with a little bit of spam, actually catching off Apex from the back of Squeaky right round by T-Spawn. But while all this happens, Dig is starting to line up towards B. Pimp's kind of lurking over towards A, but the rest of the team are starting to line up for a push, and I think Titan are aware of this.
Yeah, RPK and Kenny already in position. Existence getting in towards Upper as well. Yeah, so set up for this one. Titan reading Dignitas so very well. But Dig are not going in just yet. Now they are. They're pushing in. Kenny gets one. Can he get a second? You bet your life he can. Starting to land those shots. Kirby takes down Existence on upper, but Kenny is waiting. Goes a little too early. Misses the second chance of asking Deagle from Kirby, but the third time will be met by Kenny. And he's going to be grateful for that 4K in that round, Kenny S. That's going to make his stats look a little better than they were at the start. Hasn't quite got him into positive KDA. And this is a man, bearing in mind, that was coming out of tournaments with 2+ KDAs back in 2014 and start of 2015.
Yeah, and an interesting buy-up for the T side as well. Going to get themselves into this one. There we go. MSL and Nico going to be buying up in the end. But yeah, Kenny S and Exist. Ooh, don't do that. Don't do that. Anyway, Kenny S and Existence going to run that double AWP. I can imagine Existence over by B and Kenny towards mid. But Apex is the one to actually open things up. But Nico replies and mid is now being questioned. Kenny might have to back away, reposition by Quad, where he likes to sit maybe a little bit. There we go. Going to make his way over there. The safe route. But while all this happens, once again, Dig like to test this B site.
Testing, prodding, backing away. Realizing they do have that mid open, which is where Nico is going to go, looking for Kenny. Kenny, you can see already through that X-ray, he's staring this direction. Ready and waiting. The moment Nico comes around. Oh, caught a glimpse, went for the shot. A little shoulder peek coming from Pimp there was enough to draw the fire. So that's going to give them a little delay, keeping him busy, and that's buying time for A main, which is AZ and Kirby to try and push on through onto Quad.
Oh, Kenny just connecting beautifully towards Pimp then with the boost from Maniac in towards Quad. But now AZ looking for the way in towards his side. 34 seconds left. We've got Nico still in mid. Kenny's still aware of this, so there's still going to be a player lurking, but spots out the nade coming in, scopes up, and Nico! First one there on the T side up. I think he may even got tagged by that, but still, it pays off. Kirby gets Maniac down, and that's A open. Follow up from Nico, finds Existence, and this 1-by-1 is just Dignitas brute forcing their way to these sides. Now RPK left in a 1v3. The setup is good from Dignitas. He might find Nico, but Kirby and AZ are both ready and waiting. Bomb ticking, nade should do the job. Takes down one, now 2v1. RPK gotta get this. He's gonna take down AZ, but can he get the last? No! Gets denied at the last hurdle. And can you believe it? Team Dignitas take it.
Yeah, fantastic stuff. So what a great start by Team Dignitas, taking down Titan in the very first game of the ESL ESEA Pro League here on Cash. 16-8, I want to say at the end there. Didn't quite catch the final score, but 16-8.
So, not what I expected.
Not what we expected. And, you know, we talked about it. We wondered how Kenny S had been since the last time we saw him, whether he'd been able to step in there. The question, I think the answer is that he's still not quite 100% happy with this patch.
Maybe not. I don't think he was like the one and only issue, excuse me, within that game. Yeah. There was a lot of other problems that just, their T side was appalling.
It looked like a very rusty team.
And it used to be brilliant. I used to love Titan's executions. You know, Existence probably, everyone kind of like puts him to this category of someone who's like super regimented, but they also did have that occasional puggy style they'd go to as well. They had a little bit of everything. And on the T side, you'd sometimes get those really drilled executes, especially on A. But then again, did they ever get the buy to be able to do that? I'm not sure. They kind of struggled to get that much money to be able to make those executes. I think we only saw Kenny S with the armor and the AWP maybe once or twice. It was super, super hard for those guys. But still, Team Dignitas, their CT side was phenomenal. Yeah, it's fantastic itself. 13-2 was the first half score, by the way, if you just tuned in. Magical stuff. Great start for them, and real confident stuff. And, you know, we were talking about, obviously, Titan having that. We haven't seen them for a while. We haven't seen Dignitas since the Pro League either. So both teams equally, I wouldn't say have had a break, because they've certainly been playing other things. But overall, Dignitas, defensive side, you know, this is something we used to say about the old TSM, of course. Obviously, the were formerly Dignitas, always used to have a fantastic defensive side. Is this just the Danish thing? The Danes are just damn good at defending? I just think it's like the Danish era coming around. If we're already seeing like Dignitas taking down Titan that swiftly. Ooh, Danes versus Swedes. Careful, careful. This is dangerous ground. I said Danes against French, so don't worry about it. But they're starting, if they're starting to come into dominance now. I'm not going into that just yet. Scandinavian battle. It's the first match, all right? Match week 1. I'm not going down that route just yet to throw myself under the bus. But they're certainly finding really good form. I think that's a perfect style for Dignitas. I don't know if there was external factors towards the way Time played them, because that looked like a shadow of their former selves. Whatever's gone on, it didn't look great. However, I assume there's now enough time for them to maybe pick themselves up going forward in this online league. Well, that is the first game, ladies and gentlemen.
And game 2 is coming up shortly. We'll be back after the break. It will be the Germans, Mousesports versus Penta. We'll be right back.